Hello and welcome. My name is Simone Kriglstein. Maybe short to my person. I'm associate professor at Masaryk University in Brno, Czech Republic, and also scientist at the Austrian Institute of Technology. And my research is games user research and human-computer interaction. And for example, research questions, what I'm interested in is, for example, how we can improve player experience, or also to develop and design games for a purpose. Also regarding how we can use visualization, gameplay visualization for players and for game designers, for example, for players to improve their performances, or for game designers regarding how they can improve the level design. And also now I have 2 PhD students, and their focus is on esports, especially esports training, to make these trainings more playful, and also spectatorship. Okay, now this is enough from my person. Yeah, so thank you again for the invitation. And thank you that you're all here, because it's Sunday morning. But I also have to say sorry that I'm start with Sunday morning with such a critical and serious topic with bullying. And in this talk, I would like to give an overview how we can use games in order to find prevention strategies. As I was asked if I would like to give a talk, one of my first steps was to think about what is freedom, because freedom is one topic of talk this year. And I think all of us have different opinions and definition what is freedom. For me, is freedom a human right? It's you have different opinions, you be tolerant, respectful. There exist different cultures, different different backgrounds, opinions. So all of this, for this freedom for me, is the opposite of bullying. Bullying is not a game. Bullying is not freedom. Bullying is not fun. Bullying is really a very serious and critical topic, and also especially critical in schools. As I asked if I would like, because bullying, there exist so many different ways how bullying happen. And in this talk, I will focus on schools, bullying in schools, because of course, bullying can be, everybody can be a victim of a bullying, and everybody can be a bully. But I focus now on schools, because here schools is the starting point, because here children in the development process, and here it's very critical. And here it's very important to find such prevention strategies. Regarding also why bullying is so serious and critical is that, as mentioned, everybody can be bullied. There exists no really a definition or specification when someone is bullied and when someone not. And there exist already studies who shows us that especially between 11 and 14 years, bullying happen, and this is the reason why children, or this is the years when children tries to try out things in order to identify themselves and to find their identity. And also, study shows why someone is a bully, or what is the reason of a bullying, and often bullying happen because of fear. Fear of unknown things, that, for example, someone looks different, has a different background, for example. Therefore, such prevention strategies is very important as early as possible, in order to make children already very sensitive to this topic, because often they don't know that they are a bully, or maybe also that they are a victim of a bullying behavior. often they have the feel that maybe they make mistakes or it is their fault. No, it's not their mistake. It's not their fault. This is very important, really, to speak with the children and to say, this is a bullying behavior and it's not your fault. Also very important is to get different perspectives in order to understand and to see how we can help the victims, how we can protect them, but also to see the reason and the motivation why someone started as a bully. Because if you also see and understand the situation of a bully, this can help you also to break this situation, this behavior, because often bully is also sometimes a victim of bullied situations. And only if you search a conversation, this can help for these conversations or for solving these situations. In this talk now, I would like to give you an overview how we can use playful approaches regarding prevention strategies, because often such methods which are already used in schools are often very theoretical. And here I would like to show you games or other playful approaches and how we can use this one. And also, this was also at the beginning a little bit thinking regarding, is it okay to use a playful approach which makes fun and is entertainment for such a serious and a critical topic like bullying? I think here also there exist different opinions regarding this one. But for me, is a playful approach or also games a good possibility to open this topic to children and also as a door opener. Before I start regarding which kind of playful approaches exist, I would like first to start with the definition of bullying. What is bullying? Because there exist so many misinterpretations regarding bullying, especially regarding bullying and conflict, because both have the same behavior, aggressive behavior to someone. But the main reason or the main difference between a conflict and bullying is that bullying is an ongoing process. So it's a repeated behavior, and it can hurt person physically and also emotional. And we can make a difference between different categories of bullying, and some bullying are easier to detect and some bullying is harder to detect. For example, physical bullying is often happened in public space, for example, in schools or in classrooms. For example, that someone kicks someone, pushes someone. So it is obviously. So also outsiders or teachers can see this behavior, and therefore it's for them easier to find a solution or to protect the victim, and also to find a way how we can solve or how they can solve this problem. More difficult is social bullying, because social bullying is often in a group with words, for example, and the goal of this social bullying is that to feel someone in the group uncomfortable, or to isolate someone so that he feel alone in this group. And this is very hard as an outsider or as a teacher to detect this behavior. So here you need a hint from this group that maybe here we have a bullying problem. Another one is verbal bullying. It's maybe similar like social bullying, but here again, it's more public, it's more in the school, it's more in classrooms. So also here the teacher and the outsiders can see this one. Often it is that someone makes jokes or fun regarding someone's looking, appearance or background or culture. And here it's also easier to detect. Of course, bullying, show you now different categories. Of course, there exist also combinations. And I think one of the critical bullying, because especially now verbal bullying, physical bullying are often in a specific space. But with cyberbullying, you have now the problem that it is not offline anymore. So it's online with social media and with internet and can follow you everywhere. And this is also a more challenge also for teachers in order to help the students, or also for parents to help the children, because here it is not controllable anymore. Also, the problem, what you here have with cyberbullying, is that also people who is not really related to this, to your child or to your student, also start as a bully. Because now it's very easy to bully someone and there is no obviously connections or relationship between them. And this makes cyberbullying also so critical and so serious. And bullying is not fun, as I already mentioned, because bullying have a really negative effect for the further development. And studies shows us that, for example, children who are bullied may develop mental health problems like depression, or also feel problematic to find friends, or also later to have relationships, or also to have problems to finish the school and don't want to go to school anymore because of this bully situation. And what this means, if they have this problem with other persons, to find connections, to find relationships, also that they don't finish their school, it is then also harder for them to find a good job, for example. And now here really see that also this have a critical and a serious effect to their further development, and can really have a negative effect to their life. And therefore, it's really here very important to start as early as possible with such prevention strategies in order to help children, on the one hand, to detect what is a bullying behavior, because often they don't know that this is a bullying behavior. They don't only feel not good, or they don't know that they are victims or that they are bullied. And also bullies sometimes don't know what they will do, or what this have an effect for another one. And also to help them to report a bullying behavior, because only if they know to identify bullying behavior and how they can report, this can be helpful for them in order to detect this bullying behavior and also to protect the victim. Also, another very important strategy is also to teach and build empathy with the victims, so that they feel and to see what effects can have this bullying behavior. Because sometimes if you are not involved in bullying, it is for you not easy really to see what effect this bullying can have. Furthermore, also children have often difficulty regarding to speak with bullying. And this is especially for the development design of such bullying games very important to consider, because how you develop and design a game with the topic of bullying, because it is very important that someone who is already a victim of a bullying have not or feel comfortable if this person also play this game, and not have the feeling to have this bad experience again. Therefore, it is really important also to instead to be realistic and to simulate it, more to use such distance techniques, like not too personal, not to ask them what are your personal experience, more to be more objective and also to be more impersonal. And therefore, for teachers, it is often very good to have such use cases and examples which they can use to demonstrate theory and learning situations to the students, and also to have something to discuss in order to avoid that the students, if they don't want, of course, to speak about their personal experience. And also a very good technique is also to use questionnaires and quizzes, which helps teachers to reflect to this topic. And here we already start with the playful approach, because with questionnaires and quizzes is one of the first steps that we bring something playful in this serious topic. So now we take a closer look to which materials already exist. So typical presentation slides are developed or is available. And the topic here, or often from this presentation slides, is to define of bullying, that you have something in the classroom to show the students that they learn the different definitions of bullying, the different types of bullying, also how to respond and also to prevent it. And the goal of this one is really to encourage a discussion in the classroom, and also that they can ask questions and share experiences. Another example, which is also often used, is the usage of bullying scenario and discussion cards to support, with the goal to support critical thinking and to offer insight into possible strategies. For example, such a discussion card or scenario can be: Amelia is upset because her friends have been ignoring her for 3 days in a row. They have been whispered behind her back. How you can help Amelia? And with these questions, you already started discussion in the classroom, and also it helps you to find solutions, how you can react on this. But as you see, such cards, such presentation slides are very theoretical. It gives you only an overview regarding what is bullying, a definition of bullying. But here you need also further approach. And in my opinion here, games can be very helpful, because games, it helps you to play different situations, to simulate different situations. You can also play different perspectives. You can also step in the shoe of, for example, of a victim or of a bully, and to see the different scenarios, and also to make different decisions, and also to see the consequences. So for me, games, especially for bullying, for prevention of strategies, can help you also as a training tool. And games in the right environment allow students to grow as independent problem solvers, decision makers, and team players. And all these three components, problem solver, decision makers, and team players, are also three skills what you need for bullying. For example, that you identify a bullying behavior, that you know how you can solve this problem, which decision you can make. And also often it is also a team question, so that you also know how you can react, which person you can ask, for example, also ask for help. So if you identify, for example, a bullying behavior, it's not the goal that you have to solve it, but the idea is that you search someone who helps you and also to solve together this problem. Furthermore, studies already shows us that games can also train different skills, and these skills can be not only transferred to one game to another game, but also to transform this to other life situations. And especially if games is a kind of simulation game, this can be also very helpful for bullying, to prevent as prevention strategy. And also, as studies already shows, is very good developed games can be helpful also as an educational tool, a simulation tool, for example, to increase the awareness, to teach knowledge, and also to change and help to change behavior. Now here you can see some points which give you an overview regarding what kind of characteristics or goals or purpose such games have. In general, if you take a closer look to these games, of course, on the one hand, shows you, for example, or helps the teachers to deal with this topic, but also to show strategies like how to combat with this problem, how students can tackle and overcome it. Also, for example, to raising the awareness of this bullying topic in order to see and try out different things and also to see the consequences, but also to develop and train different skills, for example, like emotional skills or also social skills, or maybe also to train and to build empathy, for example, to the victim. And also very important, especially for cyberbullying, because also games can be very useful in order to teach the responsible use of internet and social networks and in general technology, and how this means, especially for cyberbullying. Now, when you take a look to the games what already exist, there exist, for example, a lot of board games which are focused on bullying, and all have the goals regarding to work together in order to find problem solving, talking out conflicts, for example. Also, one goal is to stop and think before, and also to improve social skills like listening, turn taking, asking questions. Also, in general, to understand what is bullying and how you can prevent it. Also, in my preparation regarding this talk, I also find a lot of bingo sheets, and this was really interesting for me. That also bingo sheets are used for such bullying prevention strategies. And when we take a closer look regarding these bingo sheets, we can see two different types. One type is that bingo sheets are used as additional material to action cards, scenario cards, to a game, and to find then specific behavior. There exist also bingo sheets for different ages. So, for example, also for younger students who already start learning reading, for example, then more pictures are used. And also another type is to offer bingo sheets which helps you to change your behavior, to reflect your behavior, for example, to be more kindness, and then to learn what behavior, which behavior is better, or which behavior should not be applied. Also, we have a lot of card games. Here the goals are similar like the board games. Here again, to work together and also problem solving, talking out conflicts, also to understand the meaning of bullying. And often such card games also include open-end questions and bullying scenarios. For example, how many types of bullying can you name, or what comes to your mind when you hear the word bullying? And what you here already see very well, it's a playful approach, and it's a good combination with these theoretical materials like with presentation slides or with scenario cards. But for me, games can be more. For me, games is not only a quiz or only a questionnaire. For me, games can really be used as simulation tool, especially how we can use video games. in order to understand different situations, different scenarios. And here I think games have really a lot of potential, how we can use games as prevention strategy. For example, one game is Playground Hero. It's a result from a European project. And here the idea is to have 7 characters to build a school playground in the country. And every of these 7 characters has different backgrounds, also different religion, different culture, and also looks different. And the idea is here that the players see and to identify different discrimination situations, scenarios, also bullying situations and scenarios, and also to learn how to react on it, how we can prevent it, and also how to deal with these bully situations. Another game which is developed from the University of Madrid, also here players is in the role of a person who suffers bullying. And here the idea is that the student feel loneliness, helpless, and all these feelings are realized via mini games and mini games as a kind of nightmares, so that the players can really see also how I feel. I'm lonely, I'm helpless, and so on. So it's really also a kind of simulation tool. As also mentioned before, as designer and as researcher, it's often a question how we design such a game. As you see, these 2 games used comic style as design element, because in order to avoid that someone who is already confronted with a bullying situation, that he or she has to have to make the same experience again and again and feel not comfortable during play this game. Another idea is not to use human characters, to be more abstract. For example, here, Bullying Cells is a game which teach or show the bullying structures or the concept in more abstract level. For example, here players has to keep a red cell away. The red cell is the bullying cell. And the idea is that the game shows when you not try to keep away these red cells, that cells who are bullied, for example, will flee or even die, but also to see if you can group the cells who are victim of a bullying, also can be strong enough to transform the cyber bully cell also to a non-bully cell. Of course, here we need further research if this is enough, as an abstract design is enough in order to simulate and to show this bully situation. Also, what I would like to show is also that game companies, because the previous games were all research projects and research games, but also already game companies dealt with such bullying topic. For example, bullying. I have here a short video, but I'm not sure regarding the time, but I think we have a little bit time.
Here we are, boy, Bullworth Academy. Have fun, Jimmy.
Hopkins, you're quite the nastiest little boy I have ever encountered.
Okay, I'm frightened. And I've got a weak bladder. Hey, Aggie.
You can clean my shoes.
This school is filled with wild beasts.
You want me to steal your stuff back from a bloodthirsty mob of angry greaseballs?
Get used to it, kid. You're a man.
No!
I always knew I was a born leader.
I can do anything I like in this place. Anything at all.
This place is full of bullies and maniacs.
Nonsense! That's just school spirit. Come here.
You're a degenerate! To think I trusted you!
You're a pig. You ruined my life.
Bullworth is a microcosm for the whole world.
I like you, Jimmy Hopkins, but I need you to do something
Go
for me.
away, Jimmy!
And boy, that nose of yours, keep it clean.
Welcome to Gold World.
Yeah, this is a game produced from Rockstars, and here it's a story about Jimmy Hopkins. And the goal of this game is that Jimmy has to survive 1 year in this school, and he can make decisions regarding if he make friends or enemies, and also if he will finish this class or to go to this class, and also if not, to try to avoid the consequences. And this is, maybe, I don't know if you already know this game Bully, I think so. And you maybe also know that there is also a lot of critics regarding this game, because also here you learn a bullying behavior. You train someone a bully behavior. And here you can see that some consequences, or to train that a behavior that have no consequences. And this example shows us also very well that game alone is not a solution. Game alone cannot help us. It always have to be in combination with, for example, with a discussion session, with a reflection session. For example, you can use this game for your classes and that the students play this game. But important is that after that you discuss this game with your students, in order also to find out what to think about it, how to feel, what also to reflect this behavior. Another example, which is Concrete Genie, this game is developed from Sony in-house studio Pixelopus. And here they have the opposite side. So here you have a teenager who is bullied from other, from his classmates or from other, I would say bullies. And the idea is to escape these troubles in order to bring colorful imagination to life in using magic paintbrush. And the idea is that to inspire players, if they are confronted with some negative things like bullying, to transform this in positive things. For example, here in creativity. Also here I have a short video, but I think we only see the beginning, or not. I hope you can see it, it's not too dark.
Oh, what's this? Your little coloring book?
Give me that.
Hello? Whoa. Whoa! You're alive? Hey, over here. You want me to do that? To paint this whole town?
So all these examples, what I showed you, is focused mainly that you play the victim or the bully. But often there exists not a game which also train and simulate, for example, as you as a bystander or as you as an outsider. But this is also a very important role which also have to be simulated and to train, because bystanders can influence bullying behavior negatively or positively. And for example, I was explored I was involved in a research project where we explored games and how we can use games that students can train and simulate such bystander or also such outsider roles as a mediator. Because this is also very important to train such situation, also to help both sides, to help on the one hand, to help the victim, but also to confront the bully with this situation and also to find a solution. And the idea of these games was that they find different situations, different scenarios, also that they can make different decisions in order also to see then their consequences. And one game was an open world game. It's a fantasy village game. And here the inhabitant starts one day to bully Adriana, and Adriana asks the players for help. And you as a player start then to talk with the inhabitants, for example, to try out what is the motivation, why is the reason now, why you start with bullying Adriana, for example, and also then to confront Adriana because of these reasons and what the inhabitants said, in order to really to train and to simulate, to talk and listen to each other and to understand both points of view in order to find a common solution. Another game here is the opposite. Here we have more a guided structure. And also here we focused on cyberbullying. And here Francis starts in a new school, and the classmates don't accept his appearance and start to bully and to make jokes and to fun in a WhatsApp group. And Francis is not part of this WhatsApp group, so he don't know it. But you as a players, you are part of this WhatsApp group. And here you can make also decisions how you react regarding these jokes and these statements. Another game, what I would like to highlight is also School of Empathy. This game here is, therefore I would like to highlight here, you have really the possibility to play all three roles. You can play the victim, you can play the bully, you can also play the observers, and also to see the different perspectives. And the idea of this game is also to motivate and to encourage a positive behavior change. Another strategy, what you also can do is not only let your students or children play a game regarding the bullying topic, but another strategy is also to ask them and in order to develop an own game regarding this topic. Because with development of a game to a specific topic, you also have to collect information about this topic. And also here, it's a very good strategy that they are confronted with this bullying topic. And here you have an example for middle schoolers who created the game Shredded Secrets in a summer camp. And here they had 3 weeks for the design this game and to writing the story and to program this the first prototype. And here we also can see that they use the strategy to cover this or to deal with this topic with different perspectives. So here every student create an own character, and each character has an own story, an own complex story. And the player has to solve and to have these different characters. And here really also the players can see the different perspectives. Also here I have a short video. It's a very nice game. And it's really amazing that these students develop this. stop it here because I see my time is running. But for me, it's also here very important because now I give you an overview how the positive things of games and how great games are to use games. And games are great because they can have a positive impact regarding cognition, emotional and social skills. But also here I would like to highlight that games can also be a place for bullying. So here really be careful, especially online games. If you use games as a prevention strategy, if you use games as a method, as a strategy, also be careful regarding to use these games, especially if this is an online game, because here bullying also in games is a really a very critical topic. And I think here we need an own talk to cover this also bullying in games. But for me, it was important also here to highlight this very critical topic. And here also everybody can be a victim of a bullying. It can be, yeah. As you see, for example, in this study, over 90% of gamers already confronted with the bullying behavior. So it's really a very serious and critical problem. And I also have to say I was really shocked if I start to looking what kind of games exist for bullying and for the bullying topic. And I also found web pages and TikTok videos from players or from persons who make recommendation of games where you can easily bully children. And this was really a shock because there exists a community who give recommendations and a list of games where you can easily bully children. And here I think we need further research. We need to find out more about the motivation of this community and also of this of the reason why someone think that bullying is fun. Bullying is not fun. Bullying is not a game. And here we really need further research and also have to design or also have to think regarding the game design and game development, how we can prevent this one and how we deal with this one. That there is, yeah, to give this not a chance, for example. And there exist already some strategies what you can do. For example, that you give not your personal information available, or also there exists some block mechanism like chat filter or anti-bullying filter. Also that you report players who start bullying. And one of the very important one is, of course, also to take a break, because if you bully in a game, it's emotional. You create something, you design something, for example, Minecraft, and then someone is coming and destroy your building or what you create, what you design. This is emotional. But here it's really important to take this break, and revenge is never a solution. So instead, really to talk with someone, to speak with someone, to report, and also to use these technical solutions that already exist. But here really we need further research and also further strategies how we can deal this in the future. And at the end, I also would like to give you some recommendations if you apply games as prevention strategy. One point is, because especially also bullying can happen in games, I would recommend not to use an online game as material, because here it can happen that also someone from outside bully your child or bully your students. You can use this kind of games if you know about it, that there exists this possibility, and also to have a plan and a strategy how you will deal if this happens, or also if this is a part of your strategy in general, that you would like to confront the students or your child with this specific behavior and then to discuss this with them. Then you can use it. But otherwise, I would really not recommend an online game. Also, it is better also to play this in a group, in a space group, and so that the child have also with an offline game, it's easier also for you to control this game. Also, if you design and develop such a game, it's important that all different perspectives are involved. That you really can see the different roles. For example, that you can play it from the perspective of a victim, of a bully, or also from an outsider, so that you can really see the different situations and different scenarios. Also, it is important to train social skills, because these social skills are important in order later how to deal with this problem. For example, to help others, and also to learn strategies how they can help, so that they have not also the feeling that they are alone, and that if they are confronted with such a bullying behavior, that you know what they have to do. Also, this is in research very interesting, as mentioned before, is how the game should look like, how the environment should look like, how realistic should this look like, because it should be a kind of training game, a simulation game, but it is necessary that it is also realistic, or it is enough, for example, to have a comic style or to have an abstract game. And the same as avatars. So here often we use stereotypes to show a bully or a victim. But here be careful, because how looks a bully or how looks a victim? Because everybody can be a victim and a bully. And if you train and simulate this situation, then is this realistic, that you always train this with stereotypes? Here we need further research in this area, also regarding if it's necessary to have avatars as human. Can we also, for example, train and simulate this with non-humans or with abstract avatars, for example? And also very important is also that games alone is not the solution. Games can only be used as additional tool. It should be integrated in your teaching strategy, in your school lesson, and should be followed, for example, or integrated with reflection sessions, with discussion sessions. For example, what you can do is that first let your students play the game. You can collect the data, for example, which questions or the answers, and also the gameplay, in order to find the topics which are relevant for later for the discussion and for the reflection session. Or what you also can do is to use these games as a kind of evaluation tool. This means that you first let your students play the game, collect this information, then start with the discussion, with the reflection session, and then start again that the students play this game, and then you can see if they change their behavior or not. And if not, then also you can repeat the discussion and reflection session. With that, I'm already at the end of my presentation, but before I would like to summarize that, and this is for me really important, that bullying is not a game, bullying is not fun, bullying is not a freedom, and we are all different, and we have all different opinions, we look different, we have different backgrounds, and this is completely great and completely okay. And so give no bullying a chance, and bullying is never a solution. Thank you.